Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm going to do another lesson today, and I'm going to do one on Wait by White Lion. It's from the prior album. I've done almost every song on the prior album, rhythm-wise, um, except Wait and When the Children Cry. The reason why I haven't done those songs yet because they are very popular songs, and there are lessons already on YouTube on those songs. So I avoided doing those two songs. But thinking lately that since I almost finished the entire album, so why not do lessons on those two songs to finish up? And the way I play may be slightly different from everyone else. With the song Wait, there are a lot of dub parts in the song. But if you want to do it with one guitar, you can adapt certain parts together and use one guitar and play those parts. Also, another thing I noticed that particularly the tablature I've seen, they are not quite right. Some are correct, certain part is correct, but the note orders are wrong, or the voicings orders are wrong. So, so hopefully I can do a good job of teaching you how to play it correctly. And I will also explain to you why certain part is created that way in the context of chord voicings and theories within the key. So I'll explain to you in a way that you understand that, okay, so this part of the bar chord is broken up into 2-3 notes, so that makes sense now, or something like that. So hopefully this will be helpful, and I try to be more in depth into the song instead of just teaching you the part. So let's get started. I'm going to cover the intro in this video, and my intention is to cover the entire song. But for this video, I'm just going to do the intro for now, and we'll come back and do the other parts. Okay? Let's get started. Okay, so my guitar is tuned in standard tuning, 440, and the strings are low E, A, D, G, B, high E. Okay, and the song is mainly in the key of D. The interesting is that the chords actually in like a perfect fourth pattern, a cycle of fourth. So let's use bar chord for example. So you got a D major, and then you have the A major. A is the fifth, perfect fifth of D note. See the A note on the 7th fret of D string is a fifth note of D. So D is the key, D major. You got an A major, and sometimes he'll do there's an A7th as well. A7th is also part of the key of D, so that's fine. That's a C. Now C is I was telling you about cycle of fourth. So the C note is the fourth note of G. So you got a G major as well. Okay. And then we also have an F major. F is the fourth note of C, the cycle of fourth. I was telling you about that. And then you have a B flat. And B flat is the fourth note of F. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got a B flat major. So again, D, A major bar chord, C bar chord major, G bar chord major, B flat major, F. You can already hear the intro with the chords I just played. You can hear the underlying tone of the intro. So that's the underlying chord structure of the song. So let's get into it. The intro of the song White Lion. Here's the intro slow down. Okay, so the first part of this is based on the D chord and the A chord. We're just playing the bottom part of it. So what I'm doing is I play the open D string, and I use my pick. We're playing the open D string along with the 5th fret on the high E string. So play those two notes together. I use my you use whatever finger you want to pick. I'll use my ring finger to pluck upward on the 5th string, and then pick down on the D string. You can also just use finger pick if you don't want to use a pick. You can just use that finger nails and pick all the notes instead. But for this particular part right now, I'm just going to use my fingers and the pick. You play that, and you play the 7th fret on the B and 7th fret on the G. And then you just arpeggiate on the E5, B7, and G7 again. And then E5 and B7. So far with this. Switch this position. So you use the index finger covering the 5th fret of B and E string, and your middle fingers on the 6th fret on the G string, and then you'll play this exact same pattern I show you. So you just play the E5, B5, G6, and then repeat that again, and you repeat that again, just the E5 and B5. So far with this. Now you repeat the same pattern a whole step down, exactly the same. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the bottom part of the C chord and the bottom part of the G bar chord. So this time I'm playing open D string. Always pivot back to D string, open D and the 3rd fret of the E string together, and then B5, G5, E3, B5, G5, E3, and B5. And then you switch over to the bottom part of the G major. So you use the index finger covering the 3rd fret of of B string and high E string, and middle fingers on the 4th fret of your G string, and you play E3, B3, and G4. Repeat again, and then you repeat the first 2 notes again. So that one pattern goes like this. Okay, and then the last part, you move down exactly the same thing. We do this exact same pattern we just did, but this time we're going to do it with the B flat, using the bottom part of the B flat bar chord, and the F bar chord, playing the bottom part of it. So same pattern. Now, so what I'm doing is I play open D string with the 1st fret on the high E string, B3, G3, E1, B3, G3, E1, B3, and then you do that the bottom part of F bar chord. Open D, and you play the 1st fret of E, B1, G2, E1, B1, G2, and then E1 only. Stop right there, and you do the A chord, like an A 9th chord. So you got open A string, 2nd fret of D, 2nd fret of G, and open B string. So the whole thing slowly goes like this. Okay, the next part is the clean part, the verse one acoustic. Here's how it goes. Here's how it sounds like slow down. One more time slower. Okay. So what I'm playing is you're basically playing the A major chord and an A7th chord back and forth on the first part of it. So you start playing the open A string, D7 and G6, and then B5, G6, D7. So. And the next part, so you play B5 open G string, and then D7 back to G open string, B5 again, open G, D7. So far with this. Next part, you move down and you play this like a D chord, inversion D chord with the F sharp at the on the D string, D4, G2, B3, and open E string. Alright, so when you get to that part, you'll go like this. So you play the D4, B3, G2, open E string, and then you switch your hand, you'll play this chord right here. This is a D minor at its second. So you got the F note, which is D3, you got the second fret on the G, and you got the third fret on the B string. Okay, so you gotta play open, you gotta play B3, G2, D3, and back to B3, D3, G2, D3, and then open high E string, B3, G2, D3. Okay. So that one last part goes like this. Just one more thing at the end of the pattern, the last pattern that we play, the acoustic verse one. The one part right there, that's another part behind it. It goes like this. Okay, so it's kind of dub over it. So the part I'm actually kind of like a D shape. You play the 9th fret position. Basically, it's an A chord. So he goes E9, B10, and G9. Back to E9, and you do the same thing again. E9, B10, G9. Again, E9, B10, G9. Back to E9. And then you do the same thing again. E9, B10, G9, and E10, B10, G11, back to E10. So far with this. And then while our finger is still on the D chord right here, we'll do the same pattern again. E10, B10, G11, and you bar down the 10th fret on all three strings, G, B, E, and play those three notes. So the whole thing slowly goes like this. Alright, so as I was talking about before, I want to talk about the theories a little bit. So I kind of covered some of it while I was showing you the part. So Vito Bratta does a lot of what he does is he'll take a chord, he'll break it apart, he'll play a certain part of it, and he does a thing called inversion. So for example, let's take a D major. If you play D major in a in arpeggio mode, it would go like this. It's a D major chord. So what it does is that if you don't, this particular part is also D major chord in a C-shaped position. Now instead of playing the root note on the D5, also on the A5, which is the D note, you might be playing something like D4, G2, and B3. It's still a D chord, but instead of playing a D chord with the D as a root note, you use a major third, which is the F sharp note as the first note of the chord. So this is called inversion. Instead of using the root note D as your first note, he'll use major third of the chord to play and call it inversion. So in this case, it's the first inversion because the A major third is the bottom. Now, if he wants to do he may do using the fifth note as the bottom, as the first note of the inversion, that's second inversion. So you can do something like, let's say D bar chord right here. He'll play, do something like that. The weight intro, you notice that he do the bar chord on the D, but he doesn't play the bar chord. He only plays the top of the bar chord. Instead of the A major bar chord, he only played the top part of it. Same thing with the C chord, C major. He only plays the top part of it. Same thing with the G. So he does a lot of that. Sometimes he'll do something like a D chord right here. He'll play the major third of D right here, which is 9th fret, and he'll bar it down to 7th fret on the D7 and G7. And later you'll see in the song he'll play something like something like that. So those are all just the breakup intervals of the chord. So for example, first thing he has right here is like a major, which is open A string, D7, and G6. And he'll do something like a G7, G major, just 2 notes, which is a D5, and then G4 with the open A added to it. And then he'll say, oh, you know what, let's throw an A7th in there. So you got an open A string, 5th fret on the D, and the 6th fret on the G. So you got open A string, and then you got a 5th fret on the D. That's a minor 7th of the A scale. So that's basically a 7th, A7th. Okay? And you got a major 3rd of A here, which is 6th fret on the G. So, you know, that's a C sharp. So you got an A7, you got a G major with the A on top, and you got a A major chord. And he does this, the D chord I was telling you about. Instead of playing the regular D chord, you put the ring finger on the 4th fret on the D string, which is the major 3rd of D, and that's the first inversion. And so he does that kind of stuff, you know, and then stuff like that. So we'll cover the rhythm part later, but I just want to show you how Vito uses inversion of chords to get the sound, the arpeggios that he wants. Sometimes just play the arpeggio, like. So that's the chord we did earlier. It was a D minor with the added 2. But he'll break the chord up, just play those notes staccato with the palm mute.